Buongiorno a tutti. Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the partners of the MAST project, Mediterranean Alliance for Sustainable Tourism, I'm very glad to welcome this event that represents the closing event of a shared path based on a fruitful collaboration and a good network since last July. We have chosen to title this meeting, You Must Be Active, in order to emphasize the important role that everyone can and must play in creating a more sustainable and responsible tourism, starting from joint and integrated actions. Although virtually, we are in the wonderful setting of Villa San Remigio in Verbania, Lake Maggiore, in the northwest of Italy, the headquarters of the Upon Tourist Study Center. Upon Tourist is the organizational style of this event, all together with the Arso Association, and in particular with its secretary, Andrea Cottini, who today assists us as director of the platform with Elisa Cristina. Thank you very much, Andrea and Elisa. I would like to spend just a few more words to thank all the participants in the project. Thus today, the representative of the 5 MAST partners, the 3 speakers, the attendants to the contest for the best business idea in sustainable tourism, the 8 winners, and all those following us on YouTube channel and Facebook too. I'm Stefania Cerutti, Director of the Upon Tourist Study Center, Associate Professor of the University of Piemonte Orientale, UPO, that is one of the MAST partners. The UPO team is composed by me, my colleague Marco Novarese, 5 scholarship holders, and their researcher Paola Menzardi, who is the moderator of this event. So, I leave the floor to Paola, wishing a good work and a good event to all of you. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I would like to thank you, Professor Stefania Cerutti, for the introduction and the welcome greetings. So thanks a lot for everyone to be here today with us. I'm Paola Menzardi. As Stefania Cerutti said, I have a PhD at Polytechnic of Turin in the field of design for territories, and now I have a research grant to the Department of Sustainable Development and Ecological Transition at the University of Eastern Piedmont, Piemonte Orientale. And today, on the occasion of the final event of the MAST project, I will play the role of moderator. And to start, I propose to make a roundup of presentations and greetings, passing the word one by one on to the project partners. And let's start. And if you agree with Marios Nomikos of the European Institute for Local Development,
we can
start the presentations. Thank you, Marios.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thanks to the university for hosting this event. I will very little. I work as a consultant for the European Institute for Local Development, an NGO that was founded in Athens and in Thessaloniki. Also to work stakeholder active for people that have fewer opportunities and also develop the skills like individuals. It has been a really nice journey. It's great to collaborate. But I would like to thank you. Thanks.
I'm sorry, Marios, but we have some problems with your audio, maybe. I don't know
yes.
if only me or Paula, you can hear Marios?
No, yeah, I can confirm it. Yeah.
Okay. Is my connection better now?
Yeah, now it's better. If you
can
repeat something, yeah, thank you so much, Marios.
You're very welcome indeed. I would like to take the opportunity to thank you thank the university and everyone for hosting this event, this great event today, and say from the ELD side that we have been working in projects and in the social sector, trying to offer opportunities for people for the past 13 years, and and we're really glad to be on board here with the partners in this great project of ours. This is all from my side. Thank you once again, and I hope that everyone will enjoy our day today.
Thank you so much, Marius, for your rich and warm greetings. Now I want to pass the floor and the word to Caterina Passariello from MAST, Mediterranean Academy of Culture, Technology and Trade. Thank you very much, Caterina.
Thank you, Paola, and good morning to everyone. I am Caterina Passariello, Project Manager of the MAST project for MASTT. MASTT is the Mediterranean Academy of Culture, Technology and Trade, and it is an NGO based in Malta. And as main work and activities that we do, we work for the promotion of the culture and the tourism sector and cooperation in the Mediterranean area, supporting a lot of activities and projects that should give a boost, generally speaking, to the culture and the tourism sector in the Mediterranean area, and also the relationship and the promotion of the Mediterranean all over the world. We were very glad to take part at this project and very happy for the partnership and the work done from all the partners, and very happy to be here at this conference today. And I would like to thank UPO for the organization and all the other partners. And I hope that you will enjoy this final conference. Thank you a lot.
Thanks a lot, Caterina. Now it's the turn of Mayra Fiorini from UNAGRI. Here we are. Hi, Mayra. She's from UNAGRI, Union Maghrébine Nord Africaine de Agricultures. And so, please, it's your turn.
Thank you very much. Thank you to everybody present here. My name is Mayra Fiorini, and I am the coordinator of MAST project for UNAGRI. As being said, UNAGRI is one among the lucky partners of this MAST project. UNAGRI is an international NGO, and its headquarters are established in Tunis, but its activities are realized in 7 countries, mainly in Tunisia, Algeria, Morocco, Mauritania, Libya, Egypt, and Sudan. Our activities are focused mainly on agriculture, but also about all related aspects and sector of human development. For among these sectors, we can name notably migration, gender empowerment, and sustainable tourism, like in this case. Our contribution to MAST project was mainly in networking activities. In fact, UNAGRI developed a strategy to involve new stakeholders and mainly from African countries in order to capitalize the results and the training tools realized by all partners in the framework of the MAST project. This is about all, and I would like to thanking you for your attention and leave the word to other partners and other interventions.
Thank you so much, Mayra. Now I want to bring also you the greetings of Merim Aidbouri and Josie Abdesamad, who could not connect now. They represent the Moroccan partner, that is Observatoire Régional de l'Agriculture and Development of Morocco. So thank you also for them, for their effort and work in this project. I hope they can be with us maybe later. And now I also want to thank you all, the representative of the partners institutions, for their greetings and speeches. And in order to delve more deeply into the themes and issues of this project and the scheduling of the day, I leave the floor once again to Mario Sonomikos, who will illustrate in greater detail what MAST was, what is, and then also an overall framework of the project to understand its objectives and intentions. So thank you very much, Marius, for your introduction and your presentation of the project.
Thank you very much indeed. I'm happily taking the floor. At any time at your convenience, we will see also the presentation of the MAST project. I funded that from the UfM grants. We had this opportunity to work on this project with all our partners. Well, this is a project that was drafted during the COVID crisis. If we can start going with our first slide. We created the project during the COVID crisis, and as you know, the tourism sector was a sector that was mainly and most hardly hit during this period, during the COVID crisis. A lot of employees and people that they owned business, they suffered a lot. But on the same time, when we were looking at all data, we really believed that COVID could be a milestone for the tourism sector worldwide. And the main reason is that it was once a really unique moment to take a step back and rethink and rebuild and restart the tourism. How we managed to do that, and what was the main objective of the project. We wanted to rethink the tourism model. We wanted to make the tourism more sustainable, taking into consideration the COVID constraints. The mass tourism, the tourism of a lot of people being crowded in one place, was and most probably for the coming years will not be an option. And then this can be developed as a habit, and we can recreate the model of tourism. We can create new habits for people, to more sustainable tourism options for the tourists, more sustainable options and choices for the people that they're working, redirect the policies of the tourism, how the central governments choose to fund, and which type of businesses they are going to fund after the COVID crisis. And also, on the same time, this project to offer the opportunities for multi-stakeholders, for a lot of different groups of interest to be engaged in the tourism, because tourism is not only concerning the business owners and employees. It's a major economic boosting factor for most of the countries. So we wanted to create a new tourism model and introduce it from that project. So just very, very briefly speaking for 2 minutes about what we did in the project, so you can be fully aware. We started working on a state-of-art analysis to see all the practices that are implemented in the tourism sector in the Mediterranean region, and what are considered to be the key performance indicators. We used to count tourism by the success of tourism by revenues, but now we have to reconsider that we're going to have fewer people in the coming years. So how we can succeed the same revenues, how we can distribute more equally that amount to the local economies, to the local producers and the local markets and the locals and the societies. So we created these theoretical tools. Our partners from UPO created online courses that the participants saw. We engaged stakeholders and people and businessmen and employees into seeing all the courses, seeing all the material, submitting their ideas for a more sustainable tourism, making them to be closely aligned to the project, being a part of the project. And we disseminated and exploited the project to its whole duration. If we then go to the next slide, just to summarize all the objectives that I said, this is what we want to do. We want to introduce, we want to leave something that is going to be present for everyone, to take the opportunity to study, to be the start of some thinking, to have some good practices to be replicated during the projects after the project is ending, and it's ending with this great event today. We want to leave this mark. We want to leave this to all the people that are going to be interested, and they're going to do some research, and they're going to end in the MAST project that has something very clear and something very understandable to everyone. Of course, and I'm just going to close with that, with the final slide. I would just like to just say and describe all the activities that we did, because it was not only about the materials and about the studies. We did coaching, person-to-person coaching with small groups, with people. We communicated quite a lot through our platform and the dedicated mails that we had. We're having this conference today. So we wanted to recreate the skills to make a turn into what people are considering about what should I know when I'm working or when I'm thinking about the tourism. So in the final slide, if we just go to the outcomes, it all has been said. What we want to achieve, we want to leave something to everyone in few words. I don't want to take a lot of the time from the participants and the guest of honor. Just one last thing on the slide coming. Just to say a big thanks to all the involved participants, our partners from Italy, Malta, Morocco, Tunisia, to warmly thank everyone for being engaged, for making this project being a great success, for making this project be active, be something that engages people. And that was for us the social impact, the impact to the beneficiaries, is something that for us is a top priority. So with the last slide, I will now thank everyone and all of you for being here today, listening to what we have to say, and we will be most certainly in touch through our platform and our tools that we will say just a few words in the end of the presentation. Once again, thank you very much for being here with us today. And just taking the opportunity from that point, seeing my magic invitation, to pass the floor to our speakers today and to our moderator. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you so much, Marios. Now, yes, you are right. Now it opens an important part that is the heart of this day, because we have the pleasure of having with us three important speakers, three experts in the world of tourism that will speak from their point of view on how the industry is changing, on how the tourism market is changing, and what new issues and also horizons are opening, and how the sustainability factor also declined in the meaning of health and wellness, enhancement of territories, and valorization of immaterial heritage is representing a fulcrum on which to open new chapters of development for the territories themselves. So let's start with today's first speaker, that is Maria Elena Rossi. She's in the National Agency for Tourism. I don't want to steal time from our guests, so and their interesting contributions. So enjoy their contributions, and welcome to Maria Elena Rossi. Thanks a lot for your presence here today.
Well, first of all, I want to thank you very much, all of you, very much for this interesting project that you've been following in the heart of the Mediterranean, which we know is the center, by the way, of, let's say, tourism flows, has been since many years, and facing all the difficulties of transitions towards a sustainable tourism development process. And I also want to congratulate all the partners for this, for the contents that you have been providing. We are facing very uncertain times. We know we just went through, for the first time, a pandemic which hit tourism the hardest, and by hitting tourism has hit also communities which are at the center of tourism development. This is something I really wish to underline when we talk about sustainability. Because we have always considered, let's say, looking at all the digits growing during the years. Let's not forget 2019, before the pandemic, has been a record year for most countries in tourism flows in terms of volumes. But looking, and we've always been talking then about sustainability as one of the values, of course, in all its different perspectives: cultural sustainability and community sustainability, economic sustainability, social sustainability. But I think, looking back now, after 2 years of pandemic, and now let's say also the enormous humanitarian crisis we are facing, that we have been a little bit, if I may say, superficial about it. Because when things are going well, when things grow, it's very hard to be able to let's say, have sit down and reflect about what sustainability means. And in this respect, as I said earlier, the central focus should be communities, because we know that communities are creating value for, first of all, for let's say the social and economical balance of each single territory, which constitutes then a destination and an offer. And in this respect, I really do think that sustainability must restart and be, let's say, refounded and reframed on the basis of the awareness and the growing of local communities which are able to develop sustainable policies. It is also very difficult to talk about sustainability when the economic crisis is hitting, let's say, destinations and communities. And that's why, starting from the needs of the community, the authenticity which can be built within communities, I think it is the only way to reframe the way we have so far developed this concept. And at the same time, I also think so that the new also indexes, which we should take into consideration, let's say KPIs, we all know how important they are to describe performances, and to and as a tourism board, we are very involved in this in order to as a DMO and national tourist boards, we are all now reflecting what are the KPIs, what are, let's say, the objectives, and how we can measure them. So in this respect, what we are thinking about and what we're working at very concretely is to see how we can measure, let's say, the value that we are creating minus the impact that tourism has on the positive and negative, that has on the communities, on the environment, and on, let's say, the economical situation, and that's prosperity. And that's prosperity. So I think we really have to change the way we measure also our performances, which is not only growth, but it's also value that is provided locally for the communities to grow, to improve their, let's say, their awareness, to improve their standards of life, and the quality of life. That is, we know that the first tourists of a destination are the citizens themselves, and I think we haven't worked enough in order to really underline this relevance of the people. And because that will then impact on all other aspects of let's say, of the quality, and also for the tourists who is then at the center of our marketing activities. What are we now doing, and what are the new also tools that are available for us? Technology can help a lot, because communities are made of people, destinations are made of people, but they can be strongly supported in a participation process and in a co-creation process. This is another concept which is very important, and why communities are important: co-creation. Nothing can be done top down. It has start from a process of co-creation, and this again is another concept which I would put at the center of the, let's say, of the process of sustainable development. So what I was saying is that technology today and platforms can support us a lot in this process of co-creation and of community building, and that process can then turn into product development, marketing, and tourism development in a sustainable way. So I really do think, again, that one of the key issues that we should look at is how technology today can support these processes of sustainable development, not only when we are measuring it, the impact, but also when we start creating sustainable development policies, products, and destinations. So again, I'd put also this extra, let's say, element within the discussion that you are having today. So in terms of the Mediterranean, as I said, is of course Italy is at the center of the Mediterranean, and has different development processes going on in the different areas of Italy. We have been strongly supported by the EU, thanks to the Next Generation EU funds, and there is a particular focus from the Next Generation EU and the funds which have been created for Italy and for tourism. There is a special focus for the Mediterranean and for southern Italy, which is represent 40% of all the funds that are at the disposal of the Italian government for the support of let's say the recovery and resilience process in a sustainable way. So there is a real important focus for Italy towards the Mediterranean and especially southern Italy. And this is because, just to give you a figure, before the pandemic, southern Italy was only the recipient of about 20% of international tourism flows. So being really underdeveloped in this respect, let's say overall Italy had 50% of international and 50% domestic. So I think there is a lot to do in terms of also reaching out to, let's say, all the potential tourists which are looking for sustainable destinations in the Mediterranean, and they are now from Italy certainly the sustainability development is strongly supported, especially in southern Italy. So in this respect, as ANIT, as the National Tourist Board, we are working with all the regions and with a particular focus with southern Italy in order to, from one hand, build from the communities the sustainable development processes and products in order to market them and to express, let's say, the value of the Mediterranean in a sustainable perspective and framework. So I do think, I hope I gave you some elements of thought which we need. I think it's a process we are going through. I'm in the European Travel Commission as well, and even there we are really considering as NTOs from a European level to act in a common way. First of all, at the moment, to see how we can support the present difficult moment in Eastern Europe because of the war. So we are all very, let's say, involved at the moment, because this has been, let's say, had a great impact and will have a strong impact on the GDP of Europe, and therefore also on the prosperity of Europe, and therefore also on tourism and on, let's say, the well-being of communities. So at the moment we are facing this crisis, but let's not forget that again, tourism is based. It's one of the elements of our culture, of our let's say, of our economy, and that we have also to look, while trying to face the crisis, to see how a new framework for tourism sustainable development can be built together as European countries. So thank you very much, and I really am very interested to hear the following speakers and how they perceive this present moment and their vision on sustainable development. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Maria Elena. And at the end, I take notes of your speech and your consideration. Thank you so much. And I do the same with the other speakers. And maybe at the end, we will like to summarize and to synthesize something. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Maria Elena, for your intervention and the important reflections that you have opened. They are surely an interesting point of critical reasoning for all of us, and in carrying out what this project has started, in subsequent activities, also in actions involving other realities, and an even broader network between countries involved in Mediterranean. And also for students of the bachelor's and master degree course who are following us live on social channels. I hope they are all connected and they are enjoying our event. And so we now turn to the second speaker of the day. We have the pleasure of having with us a guest from Tunisia, Mr. Caleb Ben Jeb. I hope this is the right pronunciation. Sorry for my bad spelling. Who is the president of a national NGO and official at Tunisian Tourism Board. So thank you for being here with us and accepting the invitation. And the stage is yours. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Good morning to all of you. Yes, you pronounced my name right. Good job. Thank you very much for the invitation. It gives me a particular pleasure today to be with you. at the closing ceremony of the MAST project, the Mediterranean Alliance for Sustainable Tourism post COVID-19. The first reason of my pleasure that the fact lies in the fact that this project came at a time when the COVID-19 uh, pandemic severely impacted economies, livelihoods, public services, and particular tourism activities. And this project was an opportunity to develop new models and approaches to strengthen supply chains and ensure a resilient and sustainable tourism recovery in the Mediterranean area. The second reason for my pleasure is that I'm pleased and honored to be part of such a project that will have an incredible impact on local communities by building their capacities with an advanced knowledge, resources, and to promote ways of sustainable business activity, including social entrepreneurship, innovation, and employment in the tourism sector. And I would like to take this opportunity to thank Omnagri and Myra Fiorini for giving me this opportunity to be part of this project. Community capacity building actually is clearly the most important pillar of MAST project because the capacity building is a necessary ingredient for success of any community and or any development of any community. So the entrepreneurs and SMSCs needs and are required to improve their abilities to participate in the tourism decision-making processes. So after launching a competition of various business, as you know, business idea and business projects with the sustainable to development approaches have been received, and two of which are selected from Tunisia to benefit of personalized coaching aimed at assisting them in launching and improving their own projects. So I would like to take this opportunity to address my heartfelt congratulations to the selected projects, wishing them further success and achievements. Please allow me today to start by sharing with you some thoughts and ideas about the evolution of the importance of the tourism sector post COVID 19 in Tunisia. Tunisia tourism sector benefits from its Mediterranean location and its tradition of low-cost package holidays from Western Europe. And the development of tourism dates back to 1960s through the joint efforts of government and private groups. The tourism sector represents around 13.8% of GDP. The majority of tourism came mainly from the Maghreb and Europe, from France, Germany, Italy. And recently, the tourism industry, before the pandemic, opened to new markets like Russia and China. The consequence of the COVID-19 pandemic on Tunisia tourism sector have been described as catastrophic. In 2020, earnings are down by 64%, and tourist arrivals are down by 78%, with 400,000 direct and indirect jobs were threatened. The country has a long tradition of tourism developed from a simple hotel, large hotel complexes, sun, sea, and all inclusive offers. It has been proven that the mass tourism remains a fragile product in the face of various crises, including the COVID 19 pandemic. If the tourism model is outdated, the country especially enjoys an untapped potential. Tunisia could highlight something other than the beach and the sun. Today, we witness the proliferation of alternative structures of stay vacation tourism, like furnished rentals, bed and breakfast, guest houses, eco lodges. And in 2021, across the national territory, we count 76 guest houses, 22 rural or eco lodges, and 16 camps. The Tunisian government plans to develop tourism more sustainable, and more responsible that revitalize the interior of the country, creates more jobs, and offer new high added value tourism products. In doing so, the Ministry of Tourism responds to the current requirements of international trends and aspires to attract new target groups by collaborating with international foundations like GIZ in implementing a project called Development of Sustainable Tourism. This project aims mainly to create at least four thematic routes, bringing together projects with high tourist potential, such as culinary specialties, archaeological sites, or places with unique natural landscapes, and to establish at least 6 management organization tourist destinations, DMOs, in order to increase the competitiveness of regional tourist offers. Also, I don't know if you heard of the destination of Dar in the south of Tunisia, which is a mountain range stretching from Matmata to Gabes, and was chosen recently as best story among 100 stories worldwide in a competition organized annually by the Global Sustainable Tourism Council and the Green Destination Organization at ITB Berlin 2022. Tunisian Tunisia becomes the first Arab and North African country to win this distinction in the sustainable tourism field. Destination Dar boasts more than 29 geological sites, traces of dinosaurs, and a particular architectures in addition to the know-how of its inhabitants in the handicraft sector. Politicians now, investors, hoteliers, and service providers are aware that the Mediterranean are beginning to take an interest in the management of tourist sites not only from the angle of economic activities but also of sustainable development. Tunisia could diversify its products. It has 15 national parks, 76 potential ecotourism sites, and in terms of cultural product, it has 30,000 archaeological sites, 8 of which are on the World Heritage List. The enhancement of these requires audacity and to change the stereotypical image of Tunisia that is a mass seaside destination. So the road to recovery for tourism and travel will require innovation and collaboration. We must also plan to build forward better, engaging across government, civil society, and other partners in order to prepare for changing business models and governance structure to meet new and different demands. Thank you all for all you do, and thank you again for inviting me to the closing ceremony of the project. And I look forward to more about how we can work together to greater impact in the future. And thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Khaled. Thank you for your valuable contribution and for taking us a little bit outside our borders, also to know something that is not of our reality, but is your reality, so your country. And we find that it's always very important to listen and get points of view from different realities, different countries, and also environments. Mediterranean join us in a territory that within it maintains both at the natural and environmental level as well as the social and economic many diversities, and that also represent its richness and attractiveness. So thank you for bringing us this glimpse from your perspective to our perspective. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so now it's the time for our third and final speaker today. That is Gianpaolo Viglia. I don't know if
yes, he is coming. Maybe we can give the floor to the representative of our partner from Morocco. What do you think, Paola?
Yes, I don't know if how our hosts and guests wants to go on, or if you want to just wait 1 minute or 2 minutes maximum to let Gianpaolo Viglia.
Because Gianpaolo texted me that he's coming in 3 minutes maximum.
Okay. So if you are you all agree, we can wait for him. Gianpaolo Viglia is a professor at the University of Valle d'Aosta in Italy, but he's also a professor at the University of Portsmouth in UK. He's working on several issues related with marketing and sustainable tourism. He's a professor of economy and management, so he's involved in complex and articulated issues that related with tourism. So our project themes. Sorry. So if you agree, we can wait just a couple of minutes and we can be here.
But okay. I can see Mr. Rabenker. I was saying you, Paola. So maybe he can say hello from the Morocco partners while we are waiting for the professor. Okay,
why not?
Thank you.
Of course.
Yeah. Welcome with us. Thank you.
Hello everyone. I'm delighted to be here with you today at the final conference of our MAST project. So let me introduce myself for those who don't know me. I'm Hussein Abenkser, journalist specializing in sustainable development and green economy. And I'm the representative of the MAST project in Morocco, to the regional observatory of the agriculture and development. I wish you a good conference.
Thank you so much. Gianpaolo is coming, so Paola, we can go on.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Gianpaolo Viglia, for accepting our invitation and dedicating your time to this event. So welcome, and the floor is yours.
Well, many thanks for the invitation, and it's a pleasure today to discuss some topics related to measuring real behavior to assess sustainable tourist practice. So the topic of today, that the short presentation I prefer today, is about how dealing with the effectiveness of sustainable tourist practices. Meaning, we know that we do some activities, but the question is, will this activity work in practice or not? And how can we make sure that these activities are actually effective? So we can go to the next slide. And here I'm the who I am. I created a slide telling you who I am, just for you to understand. Well, we will deal with experiments, and we can go to the next slide. Why experiments are important? Because if we activate sustainable tourism action, we want to see if this action has an effect at time one. Meaning, let's imagine that we say in a menu for in a touristic menu in a restaurant, we say that people can eat the local food, the food from the area, and so that will have a beneficial effect for the territories and so on, for the agriculture. Then we can put a logo close to the name of the food, just to say, well, this is actually a food that will come from the local area and so on and so forth. And we want to see if putting a logo compared not to put a logo will have an effect. So we see the impact of an intervention on the actual consumption of local food by the population. So what I'm telling you here is that to make sure that our strategy works, we need to have a sort of an experiment, meaning some people will see the menu without the logo, with the local food, and we just see what they consume, if they rather go for the local food in any case, or they go for the other one. And in some menu, we put a logo where the food is local, and we want to see if there is an increase in consumption of local food. So that's how we make sure that our sustainable actions will translate or not. We can measure if they translate or not into actual behavior. Because the problem that we have, and we can go to the next slide, the problem that we have in sustainability practices is that many people will tell you that they will have sustainable behaviors, but in reality, they don't do that. So, for example, they might tell you that they're willing to pay more for a sustainable product, but then when they are in the supermarket or the touristic destination, they will go for the cheapest one. So we want to make sure to see what happens in practice, and to do that, we do an experiment. Now, I'm including in the slide there that experiments are based on randomization. What does it mean? It means that we run this action with different people, and we don't tell people if they get the menu without the logo or with the logo, in the example I was telling you before. We distribute this menu randomly, and we see at the end if the people that receive a particular communication strategy will actually behave in a different way. So we can go to the next slide. And I can tell you that while in the past we were running lots of laboratory experiments, so we were asking people, think about a survey or a questionnaire. This is a sort of laboratory experiment, meaning that we ask people something, they reply to that when they are at home, when they have time, and so on. And then we see their responses to see how they behave and what they feel. The problem is that if you ask people to tell you something, you are not measuring their real behavior. So to measure the real behavior, we need to run field experiments. That means that we need to see some sustainable actions. We need to see the impact of this sustainable action on the results and the feelings and the action of the people. So I will not enter into the detail of quasi experiment and discrete choice experiments now, but if we go to the next slide, we need to surpass the idea of laboratory experiments or questionnaires that are often have hypothetical scenarios, meaning they tell you, imagine that you go to visit the city close to the Lake Maggiore, what would you consume, how would you behave, blah, blah, blah. The problem with that is that people, to appear good, there is a bias called social desirability bias. They will tell you they will behave in a sustainable way. They will tell you they will be really nice. They will tell you so on and so forth. The problem is that what they tell you doesn't often translate into actual behavior. So for this reason, we can go to the next slide. Here, it's an example of a laboratory experiment where there is an apartment and you want to see the impact of the face picture. So you want to see maybe if you have a picture of a lake instead of a person, or natural environment, if that will increase or decrease the number of bookings. But again, that's artificial. So you don't know, because it's in a laboratory, it's in a questionnaire, you don't know if in real life people will actually look at the price and so on. So it's much better to run an experiment directly, maybe in TripAdvisor or collaborating with Booking or the tourist destination, and see the impact, see how this translates into reality. So let's go to the next slide and see how field experiments work. And today I want to discuss this aspect of field experiments because I think that in a consortium like the one that we are creating here, in big projects, we really need to measure actual behavior. So how we measure sustainable practices in the true context, in the real life context that matters? Well, we should collaborate directly with industry partners, so with hotels, with tourist destinations, with communalities, with public policy makers, and so on and so forth. And we establish some possible action, more than one, and we see which one will make consumers more inclined to adopt a sustainable strategy. So let me repeat these in a way that it's more digestible. The problem is see what drives action. Let me give you a clear example, and then I will show you actual results from previous research that will support that. An example is the following. In the area of sustainable tourism, there is a huge problem in the hospitality industry. Why? Because people, when they are in a vacation mode, meaning when they want to enjoy their holidays and they go to a hotel, they don't do any recycling. So they don't behave like at home, where you recycle the plastic on one end, the glass on the other one, and so on and so forth, the paper on the other one, but they throw everything in the same place. That creates huge environmental problems. Why? Because, and even danger, because imagine how a cleaning person might open the sack, and then there might be glass inside and might even harm the end, and so on and so forth. And on top of it, the environment. So we are not recycling glass and so on. So we want to see how to increase sustainable practices in the real context that matters, so in real life, and we do that by running field experiments, meaning by having some room of the hotel, in some room of the hotel, we put more bins, and we let people recycle glass and maybe paper separately, while in other rooms we don't put it, and we see what people do. We can also come up with communication strategies. So for example, think about the towels problem. One huge problem of sustainability in the hospitality industry is that people were consuming a huge amount of towels. So they were throwing the towels on the floor, and so the hotel has to wash the towels, and of course this increased the pollution and the impact on the environment. Now, by saying to people, look, if you want to help the environment and the local environment, as you see the beauty of this area, for example, the Lake Maggiore or some national natural areas and so on, you can avoid to throw the towel on the floor, but you leave it there, and we will not wash it until you throw it on the floor. So we can try to make people change their attitudes, but we need to come up with communication strategies so that they will enact sustainable strategies. So we can go to the next slide, and I will have some examples. So this is an example exactly of what I told you. It's an example on how coming up with sustainable messages to increase towel use or electricity saving use. You know, again, you have a problem that people think, well, if I leave the light on, I don't care because I won't pay the light. It's the hotel that will pay the light. So as you know, hotels have come up with this strategy of giving you a card, and once you remove the card because you go down, the electricity will stop. But this has negative effect because some people want to charge their mobile phone, and of course, if the electricity stops, then it cannot charge your mobile phone once you are away. So if we all collaborate by switching on lights and so on and so forth, then the hotel can trust more people, keep the energy on, even if people are not in the room, provided that tourists are careful in switching off the light and so on. We can go to the next slide because sometimes it's difficult to run real experiments, field experiments, and have some room with a message or some tourist destination with a message and some with other ones. So we do something like what is called quasi experiment. And if we go to the next slide, I will tell you exactly what a quasi experiment is. The idea is if you want to run an advertising campaign about a territory, an area. Now, the real problem with advertising is that you don't know if that strategy works or doesn't. Why? Because as you know, in advertising, company pays for appearing online, in television, in newspaper, in social media, in digital marketing realms, but you don't know if the actions that you put in place translate into real effect, into real practices. So you want to test this. And for example, here, Brand USA did a targeted advertising to some countries like Israel, Spain, and so on, and not to other countries like France, Italy, and so on. And then they checked the arrivals in the US compared to the previous years based on this. So they could actually see whether this strategy of doing some advertising in some countries and not in other countries had an impact in the number of tourists that were visiting the US. And this is important because resources are limited. So if a tourist destination want to advertise something, they want to see what are the most effective channels to succeed with these advertising strategies. So we can go to the following slide. And the following slide is an example that I actually did in my research when I was testing how people could improve their sustainability actions in terms of recycling when they are tourists, when they are at a destination. And as I told you, that's a real problem because when people are not at home, they will behave in a sloppy way. They will not recycle. They will, I'm talking about average. So of course you have some people that are very conscious, but on average, you have this temptation. So if we go to the following slide, what we did in this experiment was to see what enabled recycling strategies when people were in hotels. And we found out that it's better to use a concrete framing, meaning saying, okay, if you recycle this bottle of water, this glass bottle of water, with this glass bottle of water, we can do a bag. So you need to clarify to people really what are the benefits by doing some recycling measure. So there should be a direct link so that people can see, if you say an abstract framing, like you say, by recycling, you save the environment, people will say, well, it's not really recycling this bottle that will save the environment or not. But if instead you are very specific on what you get by recycling something specific, then this translates into a positive action. So you need to have a concrete level of construal in order to make people recycle more. We also looked at the type of framing, meaning if we need to like use the stick or the carrot with people. Shall we say what they gain by doing sustainable practices or what they lose by not enabling them? And actually it works more using a loss framing. This is also in health, meaning if you think about it when you are smoking cigarettes, the strategies are loss framed, meaning that they tell you in the packages, they tell you, be aware that if you smoke, you might get cancer and so on and so forth. So really there is a loss framing, meaning a framing that tells you not what you do if you don't smoke, the benefit, the gain that you get by not smoking, but the loss that you get by smoking. And also with sustainability practices, using a loss framing works more. This is what we found with data that you then using a gain frame. So you should frame recycling behavior as if they don't do recycling behavior as a loss. A way to do that is, for example, by not recycling the glass of water, the cleaner my art himself when will clean the apartment. You will not able to create some impact by recycling this glass of water. You could have a bag or whatever, and so really that's a detrimental effect. So we can go to the next slide, which is my last slide, but I will say a few other words. Why I created this intervention in these 20 minutes that I'm presenting? Well, I created this intervention because the topic of today is a sensitive topic where people tend to behave differently with respect to what they say. So people tend to have a different attitudes and a different behavior, which is not aligned with what they actually do in practice. So a way to reconcile that and to have a different and positive effect is actually check what works in practice. So moving beyond questionnaires, surveys, and asking people and checking, measuring real behavior in the real context that matters. That's of course painful because it requires some collaboration with industry partners, but the effect is really a leap of knowledge. Why? Because you can actually see if people do behave and do embrace some of the strategies that you are enacting. So you need to see if your ideas will work in practice, and running some experiments where you have different conditions and you see what works and doesn't is particularly effective in sustainability. So before closing, if we go back to the previous slide 1 second, we go before. In this slide, I'm showing that if people are presented with a concrete framing, meaning the black line, as you see, it's the concrete one, and with a loss framing, I told you that if you say people what they lose by not doing that, that's more effective. Then you can see that their recycling behavior was close to 0.75, meaning 75% of people were recycling correctly in hotel. Now, in the other framing, it was less than 50%. What does this mean? Well, this means that you can actually really increase, and this is a real experiment in real hotel rooms with real recycling. you can actually increase the recycling behavior, having huge effects in terms of sustainability, reduction of pollution, and so on. So you have a tourist sector that is friendly with the environment. And if you think about it, we always moan before the pandemic, we were always talking about over tourism. So there was this idea that tourists were harmful for residents, meaning that they were bringing noise, they were bringing dirty streets because they were polluting and throwing things around and so on. With the pandemic, we learned to understand the value of tourism, the value for the destination, for all the chain, for hotels, for tourist destination, for the travel industry, for restaurants, for other related businesses that benefit from the arrival of tourists, like food, fashion, and so on. So we need to respect tourists and we need them. So we really need to be tourist friendly. But these are measures that we can use to make them more friendly towards the environment. So to have a sustainable tourist approach. So we can go to the next slide. I'm now wrapping up because I see it's 15 past 11. So I will pass then it on to the next speaker. But we don't need to follow just what people say, but we need to follow the data. That's why I'm telling you, let's see what actually works in practice. And if you think about it, Google is very powerful as a tool and it is increasing values enormously. Why? Because people in Google, they are very honest. They will search what they are actually looking for. Well, if you interview people, that's not always the case. So see what works in practice by enacting some communication strategies in the destination to increase the sustainable approach in food, in tourist, and so on. That will actually create some knowledge and will show what works in practice. Many thanks for your attention. And if you have questions, I'm here to answer to all the questions that you might have.
Thank you very much, Mr. Viglia, for your interesting contribution, also for making us think through schemes in marketing theory, the important mechanisms that regulate our choices and reactions.
Maybe there is an issue with the line with Paula, but this was the epilogue. If Paula is back and Stefania I see also back, so leave it to you.
I was saying that thanks for
Paula,
this,
probably you are on mute. At least I cannot hear you. But
I can hear Paula.
Really?
Yeah, I can hear you, Paula. Yeah, it's works.
Okay.
Yeah. Gianpaolo, can you hear us?
Yeah, probably it's Gianpaolo audio. Yeah. We cannot hear you. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, maybe.
Can you hear us? No. Okay. Yeah, because I was thanking you.
Just in time for the intervention was perfect. Lucky us. We are lucky. Yeah.
Okay. So thank you very much for leading us to consider also by looking at some experiments how complex and articulated are the instances behind the choices and therefore the strategies that must be implemented to tourism policy and
at local level,
management and the enhancement of destination. So now we are come a long way, I think. I hope our audience is still with us and found this first part interesting and inspiring. So it's time now to move from this phase to the next one, which will see the participation and intervention of the winners of the MAST contest we have organized to reward the best business ideas in tourism entrepreneurship. And I propose a short break, if you agree, of a few minutes to give away to our winners to connect and maybe take all a refreshing coffee. So please stay with us and we will see in a few minutes.
Yeah, 2 minutes. Thank you, Paola.
Okay, good morning, everyone, again. Here we are back. As we said, now it begins the second part of the day, so dedicated to the winners of the contest or by MAST project to reward the best business ideas in tourism entrepreneurship. We have launched a competition to encourage and stimulate creativity in proposing business ideas from both entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs. Also, a lot of students participate to the contest, and in the field of sustainable tourism post-COVID. And each partner country has collected, evaluated, and selected the proposals, decreeing its own winners that we have here with us today to present their ideas and background. So it's a pleasure to have all of them with us today. So I would like to start immediately from the Italian winners with Sara Caligara. Good morning. Good morning, Siria, sorry.
Good morning.
The floor is yours.
Okay, good morning to everyone. But I think that this is not my slide. Okay, this is
one. Sorry.
My name is Siria. I graduated in languages, culture, and tourism at UPO University in Italy. So the project I presented to MAST is called the Next Garden. This project aims to promote sustainable practices by fostering garden tourism in Piedmont. Piedmont is a region in the northern part of Italy. It is full of little gardens that are not always open to public and to tourists. So the idea, the core idea of the project is to develop a local system of partnership among private citizens and public stakeholders, which aims to open these gardens to tourists and to visitors. And so we are talking about garden tourism. This kind of tourism is an opportunity for sustainable development. In fact, it helps to promote natural and cultural heritage. In fact, gardens have both these aspects, nature and culture. Garden tourism helps to raise environmental awareness among tourists and local residents. In fact, gardens, a garden is the perfect place where to teach sustainable practices. Then garden tourism, so a project of this kind can help to develop local natural and economic resources. And of course, it can be an opportunity to develop a partnership between stakeholders, between local stakeholders, for a sustainable development. So in order to reach the sustainable development goals. And so this is the core of my business idea, which I wish I can develop in the future.
Okay, thanks a lot, Syria. Sorry for the mistake of your name. I want to present also your colleague, Sara Caligara. Thanks a lot, Syria, for having been here. Hello, Sara.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Can you all
It's your turn.
Okay. Good morning. I'm Sara Caligara. I'm 20 years old. I was born and I live in Dormelletto. Here I want to realize my project. The name of my project is Lagoni Glamping Boutique. Now I explain to you my idea. I want to realize a glamping inside the Lagoni Park in Dormelletto. I would like to create a luxury mini camping that fully respects the surrounding environment, both in the choice of accommodation and in the choice of materials for this accommodation, in such a way as to give the guest a unique experience in a suggestive location. The project consists of installing 5 residential units, like a tents, made with a sustainable materials, and I want to organize a bike trip or a tour in this area. This is my idea, and I hope to realize that. Thank you to everyone.
Okay. Now we have Mrs. Hibatalla Brinci. Good morning. She could be here. Can you hear me? Oh, she's connecting. Okay. Let's see if the connection is working, or we have maybe to pass to next one. No, probably it doesn't work. So we have the next one, Mr. Arthur Lengiel from Malta.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for the opportunity to present my business plan. I didn't know that I will have a camera. I'm not egocentric that I put my face everywhere, but you can see that actually the entrepreneur is the same as in the picture. So, my name is Arthur Lengia. I'm not Maltese, but Maltese is my chosen country. I live here since 8 years. Before I was traveling the world for almost 20 years. I lived in many places in the Mediterranean, including Tunisia, Greek islands, also in Spain. And I was in charge as a commercial manager for south of Italy. So I was always involved in one way or the other in the Mediterranean. As a tourism professional in the destination management sector, I decided to give up practices which are actually not taking into consideration the sustainable ways. We have very few businesses in Malta, especially in tourism. They are looking into not just a MAST tourism, but more in the sustainable way. A small island with 500,000 inhabitants, especially the island group, and we have, before COVID, almost 3 million tourists, so 6 times our inhabitants. That's obviously exhausting our resources, what we can use here in Malta. And I would like to involve businesses, and luckily we have more small businesses in our islands. They willing to take the eco-friendly, environmental way to conduct businesses. what I talk here about are small wineries, traditional salt making, honey making, and so on and so forth. And they actually should be my partners. So the project what I was working on is a boutique style tour company. And I find this MAST project when I was researching for my business idea, which is actually should go live in 2023. This is the deadline for me, where I will organize tours for small groups. So it's a bit-sized entertainment, infotainment, with a focus on showing the beauties of Malta and also to conduct business in a way and support locals in a way as they want. I don't want to push my ideas through on anyone who doesn't feel that they want to participate in my tours as suppliers, but I'm quite sure that there will be few they really happy for this. Also, I think about the community involvement in education. I myself work in education as well. In higher education, I'm a lecturer, and I know how important is it that we educate not just our customers, but also our partners. In way, I tend to create a minimum framework which businesses they are connecting to my business idea has to deliver in terms of sustainable practices, and also the language, the information what we're going to convey throughout our tours will be so. So what is the to-do what waits me to materialize my plan is actually now I'm studying as again, not just my doctorate, but also I'm doing a tour guiding course. So I myself will be able as well to conduct some of our tours with a license. And now in the next step in the summer, I'm going to wrap up the partners and look into everyone, and then start the business in the beginning of 2023. Thank you for the opportunity to present my business plan, and I congratulate every one of you who also participated in the project and was successful. Thank you, and greetings from sunny Malta. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, Arthur. Thanks a lot. Your intervention is really, really inspiring, and we want to thank you for your warm participation. So now it's turn of Konstantinos Karakristos. I see you. Okay, connected. Right. Thank you a lot. Good morning.
Good morning to everyone. I'm Konstantinos Karakristos, and I'm a PhD student at the University of Patras, but simultaneously I'm working on the tourism sector for about 9-10 years, and all my family is active there. So I saw the courses on the platform, and I found the opportunity to submit my idea. The main idea is about sustainable boutique. And there are two components. First of all, it would be a business plan that would base on compost food, and everything gonna be recyclable. So it's gonna be 100% sustainable. And the second component is that we're gonna try to preserve the local culture and strengthen the need for sustainable business in small islands like the Greek ones, where I'm gonna plan to maybe focus into my business plan. Thank you very much for the opportunity, and I have to thank the European Institute for this. And I have to say that I found the courses really helpful to do that on the platform. Thank you very much again, and for the presentation.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Konstantinos. We are very happy to have all of you today with us. Maybe I suggested that if some of our partners and representatives of the institutions present today wants to make comments or someone else in the last phase we can discuss and comment your inspiring and interesting proposals. So thanks a lot. We have now, I don't know if we can try with Mr. Brinci. Can you hear us? Maybe from Tunisia, but probably we have problems of connections with her, but okay, don't worry, it's not a problem. We can go on with Mrs. Asna Lautfi from Morocco. Here we are.
Hello.
Good morning. Thanks.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for having us. And I'm really honored to be part of this project. And thank you so much for your efforts. So our projects, in fact, I work already in the tourism industry. And it's been almost 20 years that I'm working in this field. And each time I felt the need to disconnect, I came to my family's farm in the countryside of Wazan. So step by step, I start to think about if I need to disconnect. So I think there's a lot of people who needs to disconnect also. So this is the story behind our project. And we are trying to develop this project in our family's house in the countryside of Wazan. And we want to develop homestay accommodation to make people discover our culture, our sceneries and nature. And especially in Morocco, tourism investments are almost focused in the south of Morocco. So we are based in the north, and unfortunately, I don't think that there is a lot of tourist projects in this area. So we are like a sort of pioneer. We are the first one to develop such a project in our area, in our region. And our project aims to develop to open people, local people, to other cultures, to other guests. They come, they discover, they participate to our daily life. They will go to milk the cow to prepare the breakfast. They will go to hunt the eggs. And they will participate in the fields by planting vegetables, harvesting some fruits, etc. So we want people to share exactly the life experience that we have. We want them to share a part of our life, and they are not simple guests, they are a part of our families. And now we want to develop more assets for our project. For example, to give how can I say it? To make workshops for the locals to learn languages, for example, to learn new skills, to develop other capacities, and to make them feel useful, because the region here, it's not so rich. We have beautiful landscapes, we have beautiful nature, but unfortunately, as I said, the government is not focused on us. So we try to develop things by ourselves. Thank you so much, and wish to see you soon.
Why not? Thanks a lot, Mrs. Lautfi. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. Okay, so we are going to our last winners, Mrs. Idali or Idali. Can connect with us? Okay. Good morning. Good morning, Zara. Maybe we have some problems also in this case. maybe we don't have a stable connection. I'm really sorry that some of our winners weren't able to connect and show up, but it's understandable because connections are often to these platforms are often not stable. We present them, of course. I don't know if we want to wait for them. Yeah, Zara is online. Okay. Okay. Good morning. Hi, Zara.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm a Berber person. I speak English a little.
No, don't worry. Really, it's not a problem, and you can say in the way you prefer.
Yeah.
The project is offering to the visitors unique experience to explore and dive with the historical identity of Al House region through three main components: homestay housing experience, a mobile tent and culture day workshop beside solidarity hike, with each component is designed in innovative way that would ensure at once or submerge within the culture, history and the identity of Al House in the best term and condition.
Donc, une petite présentation de ce que je fais. J'espère que vous avez entendu la présentation.
It's perfect, Mrs. Zara.
Oui, nous avons bien entendu. Merci bien.
I can speak French, but I understood what you have presented in the audio. So thanks a lot, and for your.
You will come to Morocco and in my village.
Wow, it would be a great pleasure to be there. I have never been before in Morocco, so maybe soon. Okay.
Bonne
Thanks
chance.
a lot. Goodbye, Mr. Haidari. Thank you so much.
Je suis très contente d'être parmi vous. Je suis très contente. Merci.
Merci à vous.
Merci.
Okay, so we have Mrs. Aibat Brinsi, but I suppose we have problems of connection with her. She's from Tunisia. Mrs. Aibat Hala Brinci is her name. Maybe we can let him to connect with us later, or just to give her a couple of minutes if she's able to say hi, just a couple of words, and then we can go on with the last phase of our event, of our day. So with conclusions, so I want to give the floor to Mr. Marios, if he's connected. Yeah, with conclusions, and then have a sort of collective greetings from all of us. So to give the floor also to all of the partners. And for the final greetings also by Stefania Cerutti. So thanks a lot.
Thank you. I hope that you can hear me loud and clear as I'm connected for the second time. Before saying anything, before the conclusions, I want to say a big thanks to UPO for this amazing hosting, for all this coordination of the effort. We know from experience it's not easy to coordinate and make an event be so successful and interesting. Also for the participants, but also for us that we have been all together working in the project. We heard a lot of interesting attributes, both from our speakers and also from the people that submitted their ideas, and they managed to have the best performance. in order for just a very small conclusion from my side, in order not to take a lot of the time from the rest of the partners, I would like to say that this event and it shows what we have managed to do. This project is, as the professor said, and I wrote that down, every change and every everything that we try to achieve, it's not a top-down procedure. It's a bottom-up. You start with initiative. You start with the trend. You start from the base of the civil society for everything, and then it comes to the higher tiers of administration. So what we're doing here is that we are trying to create something that is going to stay, something that's going to be replicated, and also something that together with other components and also other initiatives is going to build, hopefully, a change towards the objectives that we underline. This wouldn't be feasible without, first of all, our partners, the whole consortium, our experts, and also the participants that they gave us the opportunity to offer them something that we wholeheartedly created all together. That's pretty much as a conclusion from my side. Once again, thanks to everyone, and I pass the floor to Paula.
Thank you, Marios. Fortunately, we maybe have reestablished the connection with Mrs. Brinci. Okay, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm so sorry for the technical problem and for my voice. Also, I'm a little bit, I have flu. Well, first of all, I would thank all the MAST team or your program. Thank you very much for the coaching. Thank you for Myra and Mr. Khalid in Tunisia. And thank you for all. I'm sorry I couldn't be able to follow all the speech. After I will see everything. I guess I should present myself. So my name is Brinci Hibatullah. I'm from Tunisia, specifically from the northwest of Tunisia, Andraham. It's a small town, a lot of mountain, a lot of nature. It's all green. We called her Small Swisra. So my project, Eco Explore, is a project based on 4 components: restaurant, camping, polyvalent room for a workshop, training, meeting, everything in the area. And a small mini shop for artisan and agriculture in my small village. The project aims to promote and to help my area to present our product, our service, specifically that we have a lot of potential in Tunisia and specifically in Andraham. So I started, for information, I'm a computer science degree. I'm not in tourism from the beginning, but my love for the nature and my childhood, it was all the time in the mountain. I grew up in the mountain, in the forest. So I didn't forget that, even that I started to another field of education. So that's all. In 2017, I started. Since a year almost, I start to work with reservation. I invite people to come camp or to have to do trekking with the local guide also. So like I said, the project is is a small, it's some component that help to promote 3 or 4 big title, local product, promoting the local product and helping the women and the artisan to promote their product. Encourage young to know the local research, the local potential, and to know about and learn about our natural sites. We have 3 sites very important with a high value, scientific value. If I could mention that Wedzin Park. I will say that in French, but because I don't know the word in English. Réserve naturelle in Zena, Tourbière Dar Fatma, Barrage Benantir. All these sites are very important, and unfortunately, it's not so. It's not known for young. Unless who have studied in forest and biology, they have knowledge about that, but other no. So my object is, my goal is to let this young know about how much we have potential in our forest, in our nature, and this potential can create business and can create jobs, green jobs, and we can really change all the image of our Tunisia, not only Aindraham. I guess it's not easy mission, but trying to do my best. So that's it. If anyone have questions or something, so and yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, just I want to say something else. Maybe a recommendation. If we can have some group or some network between the winner, because I saw that there is in Italy, in Morocco, in Malta, I guess. So I would like, and I saw the idea. Not everyone, but I think that we have complementarity, and we can make also business together.
Absolutely. Thanks for this brilliant suggestion. We have, of course, to work on this new relationship, a new network that we have created during this project. But your suggestion is absolutely in that direction. So thanks a lot. Thank you.
Thank you for all.
So to conclude, I would like to invite our guests and partners to take the stage to add comments, observations, take this opportunity to share with our audience observations on this project, maybe. And finally, I would leave the floor to Professor Stefania Cerutti for final greetings and thanks. Thanks, of course, also from my part for this wonderful opportunity to share with you this day, this event, and also all the work and the efforts we faced. I participated in work from the side of the University of Piemonte Orientale. I hope that this work has stretched new relationships for among us, also among other potential partners, for new productive initiatives to be launched in the future, in the next future. So this is my hope and aspiration for the next months and years also. So thanks a lot. I want to leave the floor to our partners and at the end for Professor Cerutti. Thank you so much.
Yes, I would like just to tell something linked to the winner from Tunisia and her proposal, just to tell to everyone that on the website of the MAST project, there is also the forum section that is implemented that will be very useful, not just for the winners, but for all the people that works in the tourism sector, job seekers, stakeholders, association to have forum discussion regarding different activities related to the tourism sector. So sure it would be a first feedback to the proposal of the Tunisia winner. And for the rest, I would like to thank you all for the efforts and the work that we done together and the objectives that we have reached for this project. Looking forward to new opportunities to also in the next future. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Caterina. Anyone else?
I want just to thank you all for the very good job done, and hope there will be another opportunity to work together and to strengthen the collaboration we had and to give more impulse to all the activities we have done for MAST project.
Thank you, Mayra.
Hello, hello again. I was very happy to participate today in this conference for the presentation for the project of the candidates, and as soon as they have gained our thirst and the thirst of the MAST project, sincerely is a big job. Thank you for you.
Yeah, thank you all. And I just would like to say once again, thank you. First of all, let me say thanks to Paola for her great effort in particular during the last days, but not only, as you can understand, for the organizational part of this event and for her very good job of moderator. So thank you, Paola. Thank you also to Elisa and Andrea in the background, because they are helping us and supporting us for the platform, for the direction of this event. I think and I hope it has been very interesting for all of us. We have tried to make in practice what we have heard about during the speeches of our keynote speakers of this morning, about the co-creation, about the sustainability development, not only as a quantity approach, but a very deep quality approach. So I'm really very happy, and thank you very much to all my students and all the participants to this event of this morning. So I also, by my side, as director of the center, the study center upon tourism, and also as a professor in the University of Piemonte Orientale, I hope that we greatly continue to collaborate and share other ideas and other projects together. So thank you.